Hello, my name is Mark Wood. I'm a photographer, writer and educator, and in the next few minutes I'm going to share some thoughts on the BenQ SW320. As a fine art photographer, I reproduce work in a vast range of sizes and media. The SW320 displays my work clearly, often at sizes comparable to my prints. Here the actual size of the print is A2, that's 594mm along the long edge. And on the BenQ SW320 I'm getting a 500mm representation on screen, so I can see my prints at size as well as in accurate tone and colour. Increasingly I work with video, just like now making this review. The SW320 has the resolution to display HD video at 1:1 resolution, with space for my video application windows and panels as well. So here you have the source and program panels in Premiere showing in full HD. Now let's take a look at unboxing. The monitor comes in a large box and it is reasonably heavy, so do take care with that. I'm going to be fitting it into a space where I currently have two BenQ monitors. Everything unpacks quite neatly. The first thing you'll find is a calibration report from the factory, just to say that everything is in good order. And everything slips out of the box quite neatly, and you'll find plenty of cables to help you get started. The important bit will be these three parts here. You're going to take the upright part and fit it into the base. This can be done, it locks into place, you know it's okay before you attempt to hook the monitor panel itself onto the stand, and that's done with a nice good click, and I've done that on the floor just so I'm being as safe as possible. The monitor comes with a carry handle so I can lift that up onto my desk space. It has good rotation through left and right, and also good height adjustment from being quite low to the desk to high up, so the monitor will tilt back as well as forward. The monitor has lots of connection options and lots of cables to allow you to connect either via mini DP, DisplayPort or HDMI. You also have an SD card reader on the back of the monitor, as well as two USB ports to allow you to connect peripherals. The monitor also has a shading hood which can be configured for landscape or portrait mode, which is excellent. It helps shade the monitor from unwanted reflection and light. What you're seeing on screen now is the web browser as it used to display on my 27-inch monitor. You can see that the SW320 has a lot more screen space. Here you see the older resolution and the 4K resolution of the SW320. Apart from size, the SW320, like all BenQ color critical monitors, displays 99% of Adobe RGB. Now what does that mean? The coloured shape on screen is a chromacity arch. It represents the colours the standard human eye can see. And the black shape I've just called up is standard print colours CMYK. Most monitors will show sRGB, small space RGB, and that's what you're seeing on screen now, represented by the dotted red triangle. The solid white triangle is Adobe RGB. By using Adobe RGB, you're seeing on your monitor all the print colours. The red triangle represents ProPhoto, the working space of Lightroom. The SW320 is also Technicolor certified. This is the standard for colour accuracy in Hollywood and is used across the media and entertainment industries. The SW320 ships with the Palette Master Element software, which is used for hardware calibration. It's a fairly straightforward process. You connect your monitor to the computer using the USB 3 cable provided, then connect your calibrator to the monitor. Here I'm using an X-Rite Display One Pro for the calibration process. You'll have a few options to check in the software as you launch, but if you want to learn more, you can find that in my BenQ post, Calibrating Color Critical Displays. An important characteristic of any color critical monitor is that it displays grey accurately, and this is certainly the case with the SW320. Rather than get into any technical jargon, I've got some slides that help me explain this. When assessing a monitor, it's great to call up a grey screen and assess whether there's a colour cast. It's important that any colour critical monitor can display grey neutrally. The square on the left is slightly red and the square on the right slightly blue. You can hardware calibrate the display to make sure you're getting a neutral grey. Another characteristic of a good monitor is that it displays greys and tone and colour evenly and accurately across the display area. If you look carefully on screen, you'll see that the top and bottom of the screen are lighter than the middle. This would be characteristic of perhaps a laptop display. The SW320 has a very low delta E, which means that it will show tone and colour accurately across the display area. And by being a genuine 10-bit panel, it will not have posterization. The slide I'm showing at the moment has posterization, a banding of tone across the image area. Now this can happen in image processing. As you're pushing around photographs in Lightroom, Photoshop, Optics Pro, whatever your software is, you might get banding. You need to know whether that's caused by the monitor or because you pushed the photograph too far. With the SW320 having a 10-bit panel, you can be pretty sure that what you're seeing on screen is an accurate representation of the pixels. So I've been talking about monochrome. It's important to be able to see colour accurately too. Now that colour could be, as you have on the left, the scene colour being rendered accurately or stylized on the right. If you've gone to the trouble of stylizing your colour, you want to make sure that the output you get is accurate, and that's what's going to happen when you hardware calibrate the SW320. It also makes soft proofing reliable. If you look around the image area in the print dialog box here from Photoshop, you might see that the paper is a slightly warm colour, and that's because it's a bamboo paper. And I've checked the box in Photoshop that says show paper white, and this is soft proofing. I'm seeing on screen a pretty good accurate representation of what I'm going to get when I press print. And this is particularly important for me because a lot of my work is large scale print. A great feature of the SW320 is that it's ready to display high dynamic range. This is particularly important if you're going to be working with video. The screen on the left is a simulation of flat colour, and on the right high dynamic range. Because for print we want to make sure that we get the dynamic range for print accurate, but for video we can use a higher dynamic range, and that can be displayed on the SW320. So anytime I'm working video, I could swap into options for high dynamic support. Another interesting feature of the SW320 is the gamut duo function. This would allow you to connect two computers to the same monitor so that you can see two colour spaces or two colour renditions from two different devices on screen at the same time for comparison. Colour and tone have always been important to me, and by using a BenQ SW320 I know I can calibrate my monitor so I can see my work properly, whether that's stills or video. Here is my print sales site. I've processed these photographs carefully and hopefully accurately. If my monitor can't be hardware calibrated, if I cannot rely on that monitor, when people buy these prints from this sales site, what comes to them may be not what I saw on my monitor, and that's why I use the BenQ SW320. Thanks for watching.